Here's a routine for fixing every asymmetry in your jaw. This routine consists of 3 very easy steps that you can combine to get faster, more effective results than any other protocol out there. If you do this routine once or even twice a day, you'll get huge results in just a couple of weeks. It will literally bring the setback side of your face more forward. It will expand the collapsed side, and just make sure that everything on your face is as evened out as possible, and we're gonna achieve that completely naturally working with our biomechanics. I studied all of this for quite a while. I did a lot of research on the topic of facial symmetry and the importance of restoring facial symmetry and facial structure, but at the same time I had a very dramatic transformation myself, and I'm getting results with over 60 people in my community this far. So we're all improving on a daily basis, not just in terms of symmetry, but also facial development and just health in general. So if you want help, because I know there are so many techniques out there, you know, so many opposing views on achieving optimal facial structure. So if you want personalized guidance, personalized help, and a community that actively shares their progress, then you can just join the community in the description. It has everything you might need in one place. Anyways, back to the routine. So this is going to be a routine that I want you to start with, to start seeing massive results as soon as possible. And if you're familiar with any of my content, then you probably saw a couple of guides on facial asymmetry, and I mentioned something called centering thumb pulling. But what I haven't mentioned is that you can combine all 3 of those centering techniques with other techniques to actually see much more significant results in a much shorter time period. So each step of the routine is extremely important for this protocol to actually work and to give you noticeable results. I did my best to make this routine as short and as doable as possible, so you don't have to spend a lot of time doing it each day. So please don't skip any step, okay? There's just 3 steps anyways, so just pay attention. First thing I want you to do is to release the fascia under your mandible. If you're not yet familiar with what fascia is, it's a connective tissue that's wrapped around your bones and muscles. But the issue appears when fascia gets tight and it holds the bone in a certain position, which is often asymmetrical position. So before we try to manipulate the bone itself, we need to address fascia first. So you need to basically get rid of all the tension, loosen the fascia and the skin as much as possible to make the bones as malleable as possible. And a really simple way to do this is by using your thumb and just pressing right under the mandible, and you just hold until the fascia releases. You can also lean your head towards that side, right, to just get a better hold of it, and yeah, you will start feeling fascia release. And you just repeat that all along the mandible. Some parts of the mandible are going to feel more hard. Spend more time working on those areas because you want to make it even and relaxed all along the jawline. And once you do that, now you're ready for moving the actual bone and creating an impulse your jaws should follow. We'll be working on the maxilla, since mandible follows the maxilla, and whatever you do to your upper jaw, it affects the lower jaw as well. So there are 3 directions in which we want to manipulate the maxilla. Those directions are left to right, up and down, and forward, backward. So let's say that your maxilla is wider on one side and narrow or collapsed on the other side. The way we would approach this is by expanding the narrower side. So you do that by anchoring down on the premolars or canines on the wider side of the maxilla. And with the thumb of another hand, you pull the narrow side laterally, starting from the first palatine point until you reach the middle of the palate. So it's literally the same as a lateral thumb pulling, but you're just doing it just on the side that's more narrow or collapsed, okay, while holding the other side firmly. So by doing that, you will expand that narrow side and make the palate more even. And what we want to do now, we want to even out projection of the maxilla. So if one side of your face is set back, that's a good indicator that your maxilla is set back on that side as well, which then contributes to the asymmetry. So that will be our second part of the centering thumb pulling. We want to bring the set back side of the maxilla forward And we do that by anchoring down above premolars or canines on the side that's already projected forward, because we want to stabilize that side, and we want to do forward thumb pulling on the setback side of the maxilla. So you place the thumb on the approximately middle of the palate and you just pull that side forward. You can use your index finger as well while thumb pulling forward, just to have more control over the motion, because that's something that helps me. Okay, just please make sure that you're holding the opposite side that's already forward. Hold that side firmly and don't push it even further forward, okay? So I know this is all quite easy, self-explanatory, I would say, but it gets a little bit more complicated when we're talking about the third direction of the maxillary positioning, and that's up and down. So when maxilla is higher on one side and lower on the other side, which is called maxillary cant. Many people describe that just as crooked smile. So that's a little bit trickier to resolve, okay? And we're gonna have to combine two techniques for that. Firstly, we're going to create a new signal that maxilla should follow. So just anchor down above premolars or canines on both sides and pull the elevated side down and push the depressed side up. And do 10 reps of that, and then immediately start the third step of the routine. This is the most important step of the routine, and this is the step that's gonna carry all the impulses you just created, and it's gonna intensify them throughout the whole night. So you don't have to do this routine for hours a day, okay? Because this step will save you all those repetitions, you know, and all the time, okay, while you keep on progressing passively pretty much, other than doing those 10 minutes when you're actually thumb pulling. So the question is, how do we fix maxillary cant further, and how we can even increase the efficiency of all the previous methods, because we need to do both of those things at the same time for this routine to actually work. Something that not many people in this community address is a trigeminal nerve, which is responsible for the correct posture and plays a huge role in biomechanics, and second of all, teeth contact. So we need something that's going to stimulate the trigeminal nerve and something that's going to ensure even TMJ load and even teeth contact at the same time. So what I've been using for the last over 6 months, I honestly lost count, has been a Revive mouth guard. So it's just flat splint silicone mouth guard that I put in after my routine, and I just wear it during the day for 1 or 2 hours a day, sometimes even less, and for the entire night, okay? So that's extremely important. So first, do the centering thumb pulling techniques for the maxilla and end the routine with Revive, with flat mouth guard. And this transforms this protocol in highly effective protocol, because it's a different protocol when you do something for 10 minutes a day and the effects of that protocol last for maybe 1 hour or 2 hours afterwards. And it's different when you have something that actually multiplies the impulses that you just created and carries them throughout the day and throughout the night. So we really need something that's gonna carry the impulses, you know, something that's gonna affect your jaws even when you're not actively doing thumb pulling. But this routine is gonna be highly effective if you do it step by step, okay? And again, I repeat, each step is incredibly important, so please don't underestimate any step of this routine. It's a quick routine, doesn't take that much time in the morning or evening. You can even do it for a couple of times a day, and it will give you that symmetrical face that you've been looking for. But I know that this is just one aspect of the asymmetry, because asymmetries can sometimes get much more complex, and sometimes it's hard to understand what movements you need to do, what rotations have occurred in your face. So if you need help with any of that, again, I do have a community where I help people with that, and where I help them with all sorts of other issues as well. So don't hesitate to join me there. Soon I'll also share more progress pictures of my clients, just so you can get more motivated and see that it is possible, okay? Despite of what others say, it's possible to fix facial asymmetry, facial underdevelopment, and health as well, because health is beauty, and by improving your health through biomechanics, you'll become the best possible version of yourself. I know how it feels to be in the beginning of this journey with absolutely no one to support you or show you the way. So I want to be that light in this community, you know, someone that shows you by my own example and examples of other people that I work with, that it is not over for you, no matter how old you are, okay? I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, it's always possible to improve health and it's your responsibility to take care of it, right? Since it's our biggest blessing at the end of the day. So yeah, I hope you take this seriously, okay? I hope you start improving yourself and your life, entire life, by working on your biomechanics. So that's everything for this video, and I will see you in the next one.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.